Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino coming at you again today with yet another video and yet another Paul McCartney What If video. So I did last Saturday, I did the colored vinyl reissues, and what if they did a new series of those and kind of predicted what could happen in the next like waves that they do of that. To me, that makes logic. And I said I might do one on the archive collection, even though I'm kind of giving up on it. I should give up more on the colored vinyl reissues. The archive collection, I think there is some big holes, and I think there's a pretty logical way to fill in those holes. And basically, that's what we're going to go through on this video. We'll do a little history lesson on it too. But before we get started with that, let's see the intro. So yeah, we're going to talk about the archive collection, and is there hope for it to come back? Maybe just talking about it will let MPL, Universal Music, know that there is a want for this, that we do want to see this completed. It's getting tough. Physical media is getting tough. I agree with that. The remaining albums on Logic are maybe a little tougher of a sell. And maybe could they just package it as something new, but get the kind of the bonus material and stuff out there, maybe not quite to the extent of these, or maybe go back to what they kind of started as, a little more simpler box set and try to keep the price down a little. I'd really love to see this finish, and I think there is a logical path on how they could go. And it seems like they're teasing us that maybe there is something to come. There's some good evidence out there, especially with the recent releases of the Japanese SHM CDs. This next wave that's been announced recently, the second wave on it, did skip a particular album. And there's a theory out there that they skipped it because there's an archive coming. And I'm a little hesitant to believe that, but as Star Wars always taught me, there's always hope. So anyways, let's look at what we've got so far for the archive collection. Now, I don't have all of them. I'm just going to try to show the big boxes. I'm too shy. Now, I've already done a video similar to this when I started my channel. I watched it the other day, and I kind of did a similar setup to how I'm planning this video. So, but I'm going to link it in the description below. Go watch it. It's quite funny. Where I've came in the next couple of years on YouTube here and filming videos and such. Not saying I'm the best at it. I'm not, but you can see by a country mile I've got better. So, but anyways, we're going to start out. This one I did not have last time I showed this, but here is my copy of Band on the Run. This was the first one that came out, so not quite going in order of how the albums were released, but this was the first one. This came out on November 1st of 2010. So we're just a little past the anniversary date of this one here. But this was the first one. It was just kind of a simple book style here, as you can see. They're all numbered. I kind of showed this last time. I got 32, was it 168? There we go. So that was the first round that we got. And then in 2011, we did get another round. This one we got two released on the same day. I don't have the first one. That would be McCartney. I'll have a picture of it up there. These came out on June 13th of 2011, and then there was McCartney 2. Makes sense, right? McCartney 2. Why not pair them up? This one's a tricky one to find. They stuck pretty much with the same format as Band on the Run, just this kind of book style here. Number on this, 13947. There we go. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't got McCartney. That's one of the ones I'm missing. So the next year again, so they were really consistent in this, the first years on this. We got the next one, and this was the first one that got kind of grandiose. It went away from this book, went into a true box like this. The book is in there now, and then the CDs and the little sleeves and that. But this is of course RAM, and this came out on May 15th of 2012. This was the first one that really had some great bonus materials too, because they had a mono version of the album that it had previously only been available in a promo. They got sent out to radio stations. They had Thrillington was added in. So this one was the first one that really started getting some extra material and extra stuff. This was a really nice box when this came out. They really kind of played around with the style on how to do these boxes so much. And that's something else I think would help them out if they did come back, to just kind of make it uniform. That I think would help keep the cost down, because they're not having to recreate a new box every time, and production and such, figuring all that out. If they keep it uniform, I think that would help keep the price down. And I mean, it kind of kept you on your toes with the archive collection. One nice thing, they're all the same, like, dimensions, height, width, stuff like that. This size of it, and I'm kind of holding up the next one here. This was the next one in the line here. This is Wings Over America. So we did get a live album in this, and this came out on May 27th of 2013. So about a little year and a week or two after the Ram one. This one was a monster. Like I said, not sticking with the same formula for a long time. Next one up was another twofer. Well, you didn't get two together. You had to buy one or the other, or buy them both. But this was Venus and Mars. Wow. And this came out on September 23rd of 2014. So the next year, we're still going year after year. Also with this one, you got Wings at the Speed of Sound. That one, unfortunately, I don't have. I'll have a picture of it up there. But they kind of went back to this book style, but a little different book than what had been done. And these ones are very tricky to find nowadays for some reason. Very expensive if you do find them. Next one, we got another two released at the same time. And we did stick to the next year. So we're 2014 on the last one. This one will be 2015. We got, it was October 2nd of 2015. And we got Tug of War. And this one, I actually got both. This one, I think this is kind of the style I think could be a very affordable, well-done box if they do it, where they just went with the outer slip sleeve here. You got your book, your folio, and then yet another book with some other like kind of bonuses. And I think this is a good format to keep the price down. I think they could keep if they redid these, if they did it in this kind of style, they could hopefully keep the price to about $150. I'm dreaming on that, I think, when I say it, but at least under 200. Let's put it that way. I think if they kind of stuck this style, did about this shape on it, and several of them now coming up are kind of like this, so it's possible that they could do something like this. And we'll show you this from that same release. This is the one I actually got both from the same. There's one more there's two. But yeah, Pipes of Peace here came out in that same September, or where are we at? October 2nd of 2015. There we go. So Pipes of Peace, done up very similar to Tug of War. And I think this is a good format for a box here. And it's pretty similar to what John's doing. Just his is that 10 by 10. This is a little taller. I think that's a pretty good way. You got your slip sleeve, you got your book that comes out, you got your folio, and maybe like another folio for something. I think that works out pretty good. And I think a lot of other artists use a similar setup to that. So I think it's easy to kind of transfer it over. So our next one came out. Those were all on Hear Music. He transferred over to Universal Music at this point. So this was the first one on Universal Music, and it did delay about a year. So we skipped 2016, and 2017 is when this one came out. This was on March 24th of 2017. We got Flowers in the Dirt. Next, we did go the next year, so we didn't skip a year again, but we went 2018, and we got Wings Wildlife, the first Wings album. Like I said, we're not quite going in album release order here, so yeah, we're still kind of in that same box, with the outer sleeve, your book, and then a couple of folios with some bonus stuff, the disc, and then the bonus stuff in another one. And I think this is a really good format. They kind of went away from that. So this was another twofer. We got, kind of threefer. So we also got Red Rose Speedway in that same one. And this was on December 7th of 2018 that these two came out. You can see this one's a little thicker box, but still same setup here with the folio, the book, and then kind of the bonus folio there. A couple extra books here in this one. So then our last one, and I should go through that. So with that, like I said, it was there was another release with that. You could get those two packaged, Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway, packaged together in what they called Wings 1971 to 73. And that also got a bonus of Wings Over Europe in it. So that's kind of technically another archive collection. But that's the only place that's ever been released is in that archive, that special edition box. And I know there was, 1,000 of them? I don't think there was many of them at all. Now, the last box that came out, we skipped a couple of years, July 31st of 2020 we got Flaming Pie. And this has been the last one so far. This went a little more elaborate. This is a little more like the Ram box, where it, you know, kind of opens up here and you got a crazy big box. You know, it's a beautiful box. I absolutely love it. Yeah, we've got 13 of them so far, and the last one was in July of 2020 that it came out. They were pretty consistent to start out. 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, skipped 2016, 2017, 2018, skipped 2019, and then 2020. We've skipped, but never more than a year, I guess. And now we're, going on close to 5 years, over 4.5 years right now, and no archive. And, you know, everybody is suspected. I'm curious on this. I got thinking about this when I got, you know, prepping for this video. I know one thing that always kind of gave a lot of hope to fans was in his tour programs, there's a section in there that talks about the archive collection, and it did say to be continued or something like that in that. Now, I know he's on the next wave of the Got Back tour, and I'm curious if those programs still have got that. The last time he went out for the Got Back tour, it still showed it. So, you know, he just started some other concerts about a month ago. So, you know, is it still showing that in there? So let me know if you've got one of those recent tour programs. Let me know if that does say that in the comments below here. I'm curious on that. I haven't seen anybody else talk about that, but that's been something that's kind of keeping people's minds going with it. Now, another thing that's got people kind of speculating, like I said, I'm kind of losing hope, so I don't think this was a sign. I think it was just a sign that they don't have a recent remaster, and that's why it was skipped. In the recent Japanese SHM CD series he's got going, the second wave that just got announced, still hasn't been out yet, will be out soon, about a month here. As they're going in kind of release order, there was an album skipped, which would be London Town. You know, I think a lot of people are speculating, oh, they skipped it because they're saving it for that. Also, you know, people are saying, well, if they weren't playing it for the archive, why didn't they just put out the last remaster, which would have been, 93? You know, I guess they could do that, I suppose, but I think it's just skipped because there isn't a recent remaster. But maybe they are still going to remaster it and still going to release it in an archive form, and eventually, as this new wave of releases comes out, reissues, as they're doing this Japanese SHM CD, maybe in a year or two we'll have archive collection with a recent remaster of London Town, of Back to the Egg, of, you know, all these others, that they'll make a wave of those eventually. So that is a possibility. I think there's a lot to be read into these releases, between the archive releases, the colored vinyl reissue releases, and now this Japanese SHM CD, and also the Half Speed Master 50th anniversary releases, which brings me to another point that I got thinking. 2028 will be the 50th anniversary of London Town. So we've got a couple of years here, a few years. I would guess that they want a recent remaster before they do this half speed mastering on it, because all these other ones are based off of the archive remaster that have been out so far. We've only got 5 so far. We've got, of course, McCartney, Ram, Wildlife, Red Rose Speedway, and Band on the Run. Highly speculating that we're going to have Venus and Mars coming up this year, and Wings at the Speed of Sound coming the next year, probably even Wings Over America coming the next year. So we got a pretty good run of those coming, and I very much suspect that they are going to do those on the Half Speed Masters. They do have the archive collection for them, but in 2028, when London Town comes out, they do not have a recent remaster. So again, that's a second series now that is in a current run. I really think they aren't going to abandon the Half Speed Master 50th anniversaries. So that's another one that needs a recent remaster to get that series continued. And London Town is going to throw a little wrench in the gears there on that, again on that. So the SHM CDs, it's obviously not there, so they skip that. I don't think they're going to skip the 50th. So hopefully between now and 2028, we're either going to get an archive collection of London Town or some sort of new series similar to the archive collection, like a box set, deluxe box set like these, where we'll get that. We'll see what happens here. But I do think they need to keep the price in check on these albums that I'm predicting will be coming out to round this out. And I think they were planning hopefully 20 of these. And I think there's pretty good evidence on why these 7 albums are picked for this, or were planned to be in it, or maybe in a new series. They'll just round out the last 7 here. I think one thing is we've started it all out with Band on the Run, ended it with Flaming Pie. I think they've got the bookends going there already. I think we're already set for a bookend. I don't think they were planning to go past Flaming Pie. That was the last album Linda was around on. A big part of these archive collections has been Linda's photography. I don't see it going past that, like, say, Run Devil Run. There's other albums that have already been skipped because they've already been remastered recently and put into the colored vinyl reissue, that I believe those were never planned for the archive. So those I don't think are going to happen because they already had the recent remaster in the colored vinyl reissues. There were albums that were skipped also from the colored vinyl reissues that give me reason to believe they should have been in the archive collection. Let's go through the rest of those. Obviously, we got London Town is the first one, and I really think they're going to get that out and soon because they need that recent remaster to do the Half Speed 50th anniversary remaster release in 2028. So in 2029, of course, they're going to need another one really quick, and that would be Back to the Egg. So I do think that would be one of the next ones that we'll get out. And I think with them wanting to continue this on, a lot of these are coming up pretty soon. I mean, it is a little ways out, but fairly soon. The next one's going to be, 10 years out? Let's see. The next one would be Give My Regards to Broad Street, and that's October 22nd of 1984. So yeah, we are about 10 years out, just a little past 10 years right now, or under 10 years at this point. So about a month under it. That would be kind of the next one in there. And I do think there's good reason. I know it's not the greatest album and everything, but it would make a nice box set with the film in there too. And yes, the film isn't great either. He made it. It's out there. It should be recognized, celebrated in some way. It's fun to watch just for the video aspect of it. You know, the music videos. That to me, when I watch the film, is what I have a lot of fun with, is watching those. I absolutely love the ballroom dancing one. I know people get sick of it because that's one that's always aired with it. You know, it's a fun scene. It's fun. I love the when they're in the warehouse, the practice studios there, the practice area. I love those scenes too. I think it would make a decent archive collection or some sort of box set, you know. And again, that one in '84 will have the Half Speed remaster possibly coming out, and I think, you know, they need a recent remaster to get that out with. Plus, like I said, we got the SHM CDs. Eventually they might want to get that in that set too. Maybe even, as my last video talked about, last Saturday's video, the colored vinyl reissues possibly happening. So all these would be game for colored vinyl reissues and after that too. But yeah, anyways, Give My Regards to Broad Street would be one of the next ones out. Press to Play obviously would be the next one again, and that one August 25th of 1986, a little over 12 years away from that one's 50th, but you know, it's fast approaching. And you know, if there's any delays in this, like a year skipped or that, it's that much closer to getting to that 50th, you know, that we're off there. Speaking of off, the next one would be Off the Ground, which was February 1st of 93. So that one, we got plenty of time for the 50th aspect, but, you know, it would be nice to get something out there beforehand. And, you know, if they bring the colored vinyl reissues back, that would be great to have a colored vinyl reissue too. Also with the Japanese SHM CDs, it would be great that they would include that in that too. So, I mean, there's so many little series going here that, you know, these not being done kind of hurts that, you know, they're not there to fulfill. So these next ones are... obviously, I've already covered all the remaining studio albums between McCartney and Flaming Pie in that book ending there. Or I should say McCartney and Flaming Pie, the way that you guys are seeing it here. In that book ending, you know, that's all the studio albums in there. So, obviously, we did get, like I said, a live album in this original archive collection with Wings Over America. And I think there were 2 live albums left out of the colored vinyl reissues that were very evident were left out because they were being planned for the archive collection. That last wave of colored vinyl reissues was a live album wave, and to me these would have made a lot of sense to be in that wave because they put Choba BCCP in there, which again is proof that I think that isn't going to be in the archive because that got reissued in there and remastered in 2018 in the colored vinyl reissues, or 2019, I'm sorry, in the colored vinyl reissues. So that's why this isn't going to be in that bookend, because it's already been done. I don't see that ever being a great archive to begin with. You know, just get a nice reissue out there, you know, color vinyl reissue like that. That's great. And that does play game to be into the Japanese SHM CDs because of it. They do get that recent remaster too. And I got in my prediction on those few videos back, I did put Chobu VCCP, the Russian album, as being one of them. So that was included in that live album one, which I think was a bit of a stretch for being a live album, considering that's considered a studio album. Yes, it was recorded live in the studio, but, you know, I think they were stretching it for a live album release. Also, they put Amoeba Gig in there. The only time that a brand new album has been put into that, which has been more of a reissue campaign, not a brand new album campaign. Even though technically Amoeba Gig is kind of a reissue because it kind of combined Amoeba's Secret EP and the Paul is Live promo CD that came out, or not Paul is Live, but that's one that was in that series too that kind of tells me these other two should be in it, in the archive. Live in Los Angeles, there we go, promo CD that came out in the newspapers. As I said, there's also Paul is Live. I think that would have been within that bookend, you know, McCartney to Flaming Pie. There we go. You know, that would have been, Flaming Pie was 97. Paul is Live was 93. So that should be, in my theory on this, in there. But yeah, I think they purposely chose to skip that because they were planning 2 different live albums to be featured in the archive. And that would be Tripping the Live Fantastic, which originally came out in, December 5th of 1991. So I think that would make a very similar type box to Wings Over America here. Really great box like this. I think it would be a great addition to the archive collection, or if they do some form of new collection, you know, whatever, with these remaining ones. I think there's a good reason why that was skipped out of the colored vinyl reissues too, because they were planning it for something like this. But yeah, that would be kind of the next one that I'd guess of these 7 to round out to 20 even, you know, kind of in this series. And the last one would be Unplugged, the official bootleg. I think that would also make a great archive collection. I think there was no mistake why that was left out of that colored vinyl reissue, the live one in 2019 also, because it was being planned for the archive. I really think there's good logic here that it's been, you know, these have been skipped in other series. And now recently, in just the last month here, London Town has got skipped again in a recent reissue where it should be logically in the line there because they're kind of going in order of the albums. You know, I think maybe there is a chance that it's coming back. I know I'm really down on it. I'm not sure, but maybe there is good evidence there that it is coming back, or, you know, it's just been on quite a hiatus here, and it's going to make a comeback. And I hope, for my sake, that they don't release 2 at a time, because that's awfully expensive. But these also don't sell out right away, so I guess I shouldn't be that worried about it, that, you know, I'm going to miss out. And I hope they stick to this kind of format, but kind of keep it a little more simple, like, you know, Tug of War and Pipes of Peace were here. And several of the other ones after this were very similar to this style box. I think this is a good style box, and if they just kind of stick to that format, I think they can keep the cost down on it. If they keep them under $200 and, you know, keep it kind of simple with the releases, have a big super deluxe, have your special edition remastered album with the bonus CD, like they've done with all these here, and then have the 2-disc LP set, you know, follow the format like they've been doing. I think that would be great. They've really stuck well with that, and I think it's a good series to follow. Keeping the cost down on that. The only thing is that the way that the market is kind of evolving right now, vinyl does kind of sell a little better. These big box sets, so in vinyl, would be, wow, you'd be talking $300 boxes with these. So I don't want to see them go that route, because that's a tougher sell, even for big fans like me, to get, you know, and plus you've already got all these with the CDs, and, you know, it's kind of nice to keep it uniform like that. So I don't know. I really hope my hopes aren't dashed here, that I am really kind of down on it, that I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd really like it to happen. And this What If is maybe good for, if somehow MPL or Universal Music sees this and sees that there's a want for it, and help them see it too by leaving comments here. Do you want to see this continued? Leave it in the comments. Let them see it. There's loads of comments too, not just me saying it. And these are the albums I'd like to see in it. Because I don't see there's a sense of doing, Run Devil Run, or like I said, Choba BCCP was left out, the Russian album, or Paul is Live. I think those are great just being reissued like they were. And that would be the same for all those kind of following after, Memory Almost Full, Kisses on the Bottom, so forth and so on. So that's why I think it would be great to see the colored vinyl reissue come back and do those and that. Even like the Fireman albums, I kind of predicted that would be what I'd like to see if that came back, would be in there. Or even the classical albums for that matter, just reissue those in like a colored vinyl reissue type campaign and keep these particular albums to the archive. And I think that would be a good way to end the archive too. And maybe even at that, by the time you get done with these 7, maybe you'll be close enough down the road that you could start a new series where, something like Driving Rain or Memory Almost Full or Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, stuff like that, could see a nice deluxe box set come out, maybe in a different name than Archive Collection. But I feel like these 13 are not the complete 13. I think it should be 20. I like that nice even number. I know that MPL has abandoned sets though over the years. The McCartney Collection, that got kind of abandoned, people think. I don't think it did. I think it was pretty... I suppose they did leave Wings Over America out. That was kind of a loss, but that was really the only thing that got left out, from my estimation there. Maybe All the Best. I suppose they did put Wings Greatest in there, so All the Best maybe. I also don't think All the Best would come out in the Archive Collection. That doesn't make any sense. But maybe a color vinyl reissue on that one too. Anyways, I am getting kind of rambling here. But that's what I think could happen is London Town, Back to the Egg, Give My Regards to Broad Street, Press to Play, Off the Ground, Tripping the Live Fantastic, and Unplug, the official bootleg. And I think they all would make great box sets. As I just said, Unplug, the official bootleg. You got the actual Unplugged, MTV Unplugged show that could be released on DVD for the first time, or Blu-ray, whatever. And, that would be great. I'd love to have a copy of that in my physical media collection. And I'm sure there's other gigs and stuff you did around that time, kind of prepping for that would be great. I'm sure they were filmed too. So and great bonus material on that too, because I suppose you got those other gigs that you could add into it. So yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into all that. I know it's out there. I know there's great material to fill these boxes. And I think these would be wonderful holes in that bookend. McCartney, Flaming Pie, I got it right that time. And, just to fill it in. And I feel like a lot of McCartney fans would feel like it is complete with that. So please, let's get it out there. Leave those comments. Let MPL, let Universal Music know that you want to see this. Are these the right albums to include in it? I think they are. My opinion might be different than yours. So let me know on that, and let them know on that too, what we want to see if this happens. So anyways, I'm going to get totally wrapping up. Before I do that, though, I want to once again thank all my subscribers, and thanks to you new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel and the video. And like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. And let me and MPL know, do you agree with me? Do you think these are the 7 that should be in there? Do you think there's other ones? Or do you think maybe not that full 7? Let us know. Let me and them, if they by chance happen to see this. I doubt my little channel will get noticed by them, but you never know. Who knows? So anyways, I'm totally signing out. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.